Hey, hello friends, this is Retro Portal Studio and welcome to the launch video of FireKit, a bulk data toolset for Firebase. Now, Firebase is one of the most used backend as a service by developers and companies across the world. It gives developers a lot of power in terms of what apps they can create without even worrying about the backend implementation. Despite all the amazing features that Firebase offers, there is one area where the developers face a lot of problem, and that is related to the bulk data operations. When working with an app, we might need to upload bulk data sets that our application needs to work properly, and we might even need to download the collections data from Firebase for promotional, analytical, or other purposes. As you know, in this day and age, data is everything, but sadly, Firebase does not offer you with such features. Well, not anymore. FireKit gives you with all the bulk data tools that you might need with Firebase, and even with the support for subcollections. So without further ado, let's take a look at FireKit in action. FireKit is available for both Windows and macOS, and the link to download FireKit can be found in the description of this video. I currently have it installed on my Windows machine, and I can simply launch it by this FireKit icon on my desktop. Now, it will do some basic checks at the launch, which might take some time based on the internet connectivity. And then the first thing that you see is this projects screen. So a FireKit project is a reference to your Firebase project, and everything is stored locally, so you don't have to worry about the security of your project credentials. So let's create a new FireKit project now. And a new FireKit project requires three things: a project name. This can be anything you want for future reference, and you can also change it later on. The database URL and service JSON are provided to you by the Firebase project. So to get this database link and the service JSON, I'll go to my Firebase console. And for this demonstration, I want to work with this Flutter project. And in this project, I'll go to this settings icon, and from here, I'll open project settings. Now in this project settings, I'll go under the service accounts section. And here on the bottom of the page, I have this option to generate a new private key. And once you click on this, you'll get the service JSON. I already have this on my computer, so I won't download it again. And the database URL can be found in the code right here. Now, if for some reason the database URL is not here, you can go to the real-time database. And first you have to create a database. And even if your application is not using the real-time database, we can just enable it in locked mode. And once the real-time database is ready, you can get the database URL from here. So I'll copy this from here and go to the FireKit app. And in this, I'll paste in the database URL. For the project name, I'll pass in Flutter project. And for the service JSON, I'll click on this select service JSON button, and I'll go to the storage folder. And in this, I have this service JSON, and I'll open it. And as soon as I select the file, you can see the contents of the file here. Make sure you have this type of service account. And once you have everything in place, you can just save the project. So for now, I'll minimize the browser window and the rest of the windows. And in the FireKit app, you can see that we have a new project called Flutter project. Now you can click on this settings button and you can open up the project details. And if for some reason you have to change the JSON, you can change it from here. And you can also edit the database URL and also the project name. And if for some reason you have to delete the project, you can use this delete project button, but make sure it will delete all the local data associated with the project permanently. So in this case, I'll click on cancel, and I'll just change the project name to Flutter project 2, and I'll save this, and you can see the updates on the project's screen also. So let's open up the project and see how we can use it for bulk data operations. Now that we are in the project, the first thing that we have to do is create a new collection. For this, I'll click on this new collections button, and this is case sensitive, so you have to put in the exact collection name that you want to be on the Firestore, and this cannot be changed later. So I'll set the name to be users. And also you have the option to mark this as a child collection, which means if this collection is within some other document, you can provide in a path to that document. We'll take a look at this later. So at this point, I'll save the collection. And once the collection is saved, the next thing that we have to do is create a structure. For this, I'll click on this structure button. This structure basically is to define how you wish to lay out your data on Firestore. I do have this users collection, which I want to upload. So I'll open this in VS Code. And in this JSON, you can see that we have a list of different user objects. Now, in the users collection on Firestore, I want each user's document to have a unique ID, and this should also be the ID of the document. And in each user document, I want to have this notifications subcollection. So each of the notification is going to have an ID and a by property. You can also have a subcollection within notifications and so on, but in this case, we're only going to be dealing with a single subcollection. So I'll bring up the FireKit app, and in this, the first thing that the structure window asks is for the unique ID property. And in this case, we have the unique ID as this UID property. So I'll put in UID and I'll click on this check button. One thing you must keep in mind is you should always provide a unique key for the documents in the collection, or else FireKit will auto-generate the unique ID and hence the keys for you. And this might lead to some inconsistent data. So in this case, we'll have this UID. And for the sub-collections, we have to put in the property and the collection name. In this case, the property is going to be notifications. And we also want the collection name to be the same. So I'll put in notifications. I'll click on add, and this will be added to the table below. Now for each notifications property in the user's document from the JSON, FireKit is going to create a new collection, and it will put all the documents in the notifications property in that sub-collection. Now we'll go to this notifications sub-collection, and you can see that this is the sub-collection of users. And in case of notifications, the unique ID is this ID property. So I'll put in ID and click on this check. And for the notifications, we do not have any sub-collections. So in this case, I'll click on this save structure. Now, since we want to upload the data, we have to select the JSON that we want to upload. So I'll select the JSON to upload. And in this, I'll select this user's JSON. And once the JSON opens, it asks us to create the structure. But since we have already created the structure, it will present us with the same. And we can simply click on Save Structure. And once the structure is saved, you can see that we have a preview of what our data will look like once it's uploaded to the Firestore. You can see that we have a list of documents in the user's collection, and the ID of each document corresponds to the UID property of the documents. And in each of the document, we have this notifications subcollection. And for the first document, you can see that we don't have any notifications. For the second document, we have 4 notifications. So you can see the same data in the preview. Now, once we have the data in the preview, you can simply click on the upload button. Now this upload dialog gives you with an option for instant upload, which by default is unchecked. And the reason for this is because this is a less reliable method, but this is way quicker. And there are also some important instructions that you should take care of. For example, if you're on a free quota for Firebase, transactions can fail if you exceed the limit of the free quota. And once you have read through all the instructions, you can click on Upload Collection and click on Confirm. Now, a terminal window might appear in case of Windows or macOS, and you should not close this window. Now, this upload process might take some time because we're going up with the regular method, so I'll skip to the end of the upload process. Now, the upload process is complete, and this user's JSON has approximately 500 user documents, and each of those documents has a subcollection of notifications, and the upload took approximately 2.5 minutes to complete by the default method. So let's go to the Firebase console and take a look at the data. Now, in the Firebase project, if we take a look at the Firestore database, you can see that we have the users collection, and each of the document in this collection has a subcollection of notifications, and in the notifications we have all the notification documents. So this data is exactly like the one presented to you in the preview window. Now let's also take a look at the instant upload method. I'll delete this users collection. I'll type in users and click on delete. Now once the collection is completely deleted, let's go to the FireKit, and I'll close this window and once again click on this upload button. And in this case, we'll click on this instant upload and start the upload process. You can see that this process took just an instant to complete, and I can go back to the Firebase project and refresh the page. And now we have the same user's data with the user's documents, and each of the document has the notifications subcollection, which has its own notification documents. So you can see how easy it is to upload data with the help of FireKit. Now let's also take a look at the download process. For this, I'll close this upload window and I'll click on this download button. Now, one thing you should keep in mind is that this download process also depends on the structure that we have defined for this collection. So because the structure is same, we can click on this download data, and this will ask us for the location on which we want to store the data. So I'll select this JSON downloads folder on the desktop and I'll click OK, and then I'll click on confirm. Now the download process might take some time depending upon the size of the collection. So the download is about to complete, and it took approximately 2 to 3 minutes to complete the download. And once the download is done, I can close this window and I'll go to the desktop and I'll open this JSON downloads folder. And in this we have this file, and I'll open this in VS Code, and you can see that we have the JSON data. So I'll click on save to format the data, and you can see that we have the user's documents with the respective UID property and all the notification subdocuments in there. And this is completely identical to the user's JSON that we initially uploaded. Okay, so now let's also take a look at the child collection feature that we skipped earlier. Let's say in the Firestore data, we want to add notifications to this particular user. So this notifications collection is a part of this document. And if we want to add documents to this collection, we can do this by using the child collection features. So let's get back to the FireKit. And in this, I'll create a new collection and I'll name this notifications. And for this case, I'll make this a child collection. And in the path, we have to pass in the collection name and the document name to create a path for this collection. So for the roots collection, we have the users. And for the document name, I'll go back to the Firestore. And in this, I'll get the document ID, that is this UID here, and I'll add this in the FireKit document name. And then I'll add this to the path. So now we have this notifications child collection, and we have also defined the path for this collection. So I'll save this collection, and in the collections list, you can see that we have this child tag in front of the notifications with which you can identify that a collection is a child collection. So I'll select the JSON that I wish to upload, and here is the notifications JSON that I wish to upload. And as you remember, in the notifications, we have the ID property as the unique ID, and there are not any subcollections. So I'll save the structure, and what I will do now is I'll move FireKit to a side and open up the notifications collection. And now I'll click on this upload, and I'll click on instant upload and start the upload process. Now when the upload completes, you can see that instantly all the documents are uploaded to this sub-collection, and each of the document has its own data. So you can see that with the child collection feature, we can create a collection within a specific document and upload documents to that specific collection. You can also change the path for this notifications collection by clicking on this edit button, and you can remove this document and add a new document name and add that to the path. And if you wish to remove the collection altogether, you can click on this remove collection and confirm. So with this, you have seen how easy it is to do bulk data operations for Firebase with the help of FireKit. You can download the free version of FireKit from Gumroad, and the link for this page will be in the description of the video. Even with the free version, there is no limit on collections and projects that you can have, and you can upload up to 100 documents in a single collection. You can test out the application, and if you want to use FireKit to its full potential, you can get the activation key with a lifetime validity, and the link for getting the activation key will also be in the description below. Now, since this is a product launch week, for a limited time, you can get FireKit at a huge discount using the coupon code in the description. I hope you find this product useful, and if you find any issues with the product or if you wish to suggest some new features, you can get the support links at the bottom of the product page. Thank you all for your constant support on Retroportal Studio. It motivates me to create new content and products like this one. I hope you have found this video useful, and if you do, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and also consider following me on Twitter for future updates. See you next time. Peace.